What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and today we are certainly talking about a blade. We've got a debut from the brand Cobratec here at Baz on Blades. Now, I know you've already seen the title and the thumbnail. You know exactly what we got in here, so we are going to just take a very quick pause and read of the exact model information you need. I'm going to tell you, I bought this knife at knifeworks.com. That's standard spelling for works, W-O-R-K-S. I have done business with knifeworks.com multiple times, 100% positive feedback for them. So I'll put the link for this knife down in the comment section and in the video description. You can check it out. In the box, you are going to find their signature build card saying that they build these when you order it. And that is the signature initials of the person that built it, HP. Apparently his name is Horsepower. So I expect this knife is going to blow us away. Then we've got a lifetime warranty here, which I did not read. But apparently it's a warranty that lasts for a lifetime. Unique registration number. That does add a little bit to this purchase. This knife was $119, and this knife is available in two different price points. This is one of the premium models in 154 cm for the blade steel and carbon fiber for the scale inlays. I think there's also a stag and maybe an abalone or mother of pearl in the 154 cm. And then there's a more lower price line using D2 for the blade steel. And it is available in various more traditional materials, jig bone and wood, things like that. So there's plenty there, and I'll just put a link to the model so you can look at all of them. I'm lucky enough to live in the state of Tennessee, where I can not only legally own automatics, but I can carry them concealed or otherwise legally. And I very much enjoy that. I carry an automatic often. I've built up a nice little collection. But what I didn't have in my collection was a hidden opening mechanism, a hidden release, something unique. And I discovered this. I think Jeffrey Orthopedics sent me a link for Cobratec out the fronts. And I was looking around their website and I saw this and I thought, wow, that's cool. I've been looking for something like that at a decent price point to add to my auto collection. So I looked into it. I watched a couple of videos. I had a good idea what I was looking at. I went out. I found the best price at a reputable dealer and I ordered it. It came in, I opened the box, and the first thing I thought when I opened the box is, I'm not keeping this. I am giving it as a gift to a very specific person for Christmas. So before I even took it out of the box, I had already gave it away. So the person that's going to get this for Christmas, congratulations on you. You are absolutely the first person I thought of when I opened that box. It is a traditional trapper pattern on the large end of the scale for a trapper, a single blade. It is a hidden release. It is a bolster release. So we're going to push this bolster, the show side bolster, from the left to the right, and that will release it. It also unlocks it. The knife is snappy. It's easy to operate. No issues there. Let's go over the specs and you'll see why I'm saying it's sort of on the sort of larger side for a trapper. The blade length is 3 1/8 of an inch or 8 centimeters. The blade width is 5/8 of an inch or slightly more than 15 millimeters. Blade stock thickness, 116 thousandths of an inch or 2.95 millimeters. Thickness behind the edge, 15 thousandths of an inch or 0.38 millimeters. Your handle length is 4 3/16 of an inch or 10.5 centimeters. handle width, and unlike typical, I measured this closed because it's very narrow closed, traditional sort of profile. I just did this instead of doing two different widths. At the widest, it's 885 thousandths of an inch, or 22.48 millimeters. And the thickness is 480 thousandths of an inch, or 12.2 millimeters, which is slightly thinner than the industry standard of a half an inch. Overall length is 7 3/8 of an inch, 7 3/8 of an inch with a 3 1/8 inch blade. That's on the large size, okay, for a trapper. That's 18.5 centimeters. Your weight, 3.88 ounces, or 110 grams. And you might think, that seems a little heavy for a trapper, and it is slightly heavy. When you pick it up, you're like, that's not normal feeling. It's slightly heavier, but there's a whole lot of stainless steel going on in this knife. You are double bolstered. Then you've got to take in all of your side plates, your spring material. It is sort of, it just feels really solid and substantial and worthy in the hands. If it is a little bit on the heavy side for a trapper, I think that's okay. I think we can forgive that for the uniqueness of this hidden release side opening automatic. So let's talk about materials. You're in 154 cm for your blade steel. That is their premium steel. I do not know anything about their heat treat, so I can't tell you anything about that. And since I am giving this as a gift knife, other than just to generally test the edge to make sure it wasn't burred or anything like that, I have not really used this knife because it's going to be a gift knife. I mean, as soon as I opened the box, I knew I wasn't keeping this knife. So the grinds are even on it. Got a nice looking swedge on that clip point. You've got a belt satin finish that has had some secondary finishing, maybe slightly scotch brighted and then lightly buffed for a sheen rather than a shine. You've got the Cobratec, Cobra, and whatever that is, model number? No, blade steel, I'm sorry. Blade steel, no markings on the backside. So it's not overly billboarded, but that Cobra is, it's kind of big. Materials in your handle, we're all stainless steel for everything except for our carbon fiber. I have not removed these scales. I do not know if this is user serviceable or if it's pinned together. So I can't tell you that. I can show you what the materials are, how the fit and finish is though, and it's pretty decent. Let's go on to fit and finish and then we'll do action. You can see a little bit of gappy gap here, very thin, very narrow, between the back spring and these side plates here. All right, the gappage or the fittage on the scales to bolsters, okay, on both sides. All right, remember this is a slide-in piece here. So I think that this knife, fit and finish wise, what it reminds me of is a cross between a case knife and a buck knife. That's what it reminds me of. More traditional fit and finish. It's not ultra modern, completely smooth, fully CNC machine precision type of thing. You can see when the machining was cleaned up on this and everything was sort of matched up, you can see a little bit of dipping here at the ends of components. Okay. And then again, you've got your gappage here in your fitment between the side plates and the back spring. Speaking of the back spring, let's talk about that lock-in mechanism, release mechanism. It's basically a lock back, but not. In a lock back knife, you have the long back spring You've got a recess down on the butt end so you can press it down. There is a middle pin. It is a hinge pin or lever pin. And when you press down on the back, it levers up the front end. There is a notch in the tang of the blade. There is a tab, lock-in tab on the spring end. So as you press down here, and it raises this out of that notch, and that locks and unlocks it. Here in this hidden release, the bolster mechanism is one piece with that back spring, and as you push that over, you're raising that back spring. The same thing, you see, if there was a notch back here that cleared the scale and the liner, the side plate, I could push down on the back like a lock back. So that's all this is, just basically a lock back where they changed the area that you manipulated. It's pretty doggone smooth. I had never had a bolster release, and I don't know that they're all made that way, but I would not be surprised at all if they were all, a slight version of that type of lock. But in this instant, it's super easy to manipulate. I'm wondering, just aesthetic things here. You've got the diamond knurled sort of texturing here on this end, and then smooth on the butt end. I'm assuming they did that before friction up here on this end so you can manipulate this thing, because what you're doing is you're pinching it, sort of rolling your thumb over the edge of that so you can hook it, and then just pulling it over. And maybe they were thinking you needed that traction for that, but I don't think you do. I think if it would have been smooth, I could still roll my thumb over on that and still would be able to manipulate it. So I don't know. But everything is it's at that level of fit and finish that it just screams case and buck to me. Like, let's look at the polish on this bolster. Let me see if I've got a polishing cloth here. We can get my fingerprints off and see the quality of the polish on that bolster as far as the fit and finish on this thing goes. Okay, so that's fully, you can see that is not an absolute mirror polish. There is still haziness in that. So I'm wondering how this would look if it was a $200 knife instead of a $119 knife. If that would have gone up to the next level, or if they would have still left it at this level to match it to this bolster. And then basically your as machined finish back here on the back from a grinder. Think an old man will like this? I think the old man will like this, the one that I'm going to give this to. Awesome. Awesome. It's unique. It's well made. I mean, I knew about all of this stuff before I bought it and still chose to do it. I think the materials at this level, at this price point, given what it is, I think it's okay at $119. All right, let's finish talking about that action. It's snappy. It's easy to manipulate. No issue there. You can open and close it one-handed. Okay, no issue there. The lockup. Again, it reminds me of a case and a buck. There is, let's get up super close and you look very carefully. I am manipulating that blade right now. I can feel there is the barest hint of movement there. It is the amount of movement it takes to change this from absolutely solid to not absolutely solid. So it's got less play in it than a typical case or buck lockback knife would have. A buck 110, even a special edition $200 buck 110 has got 5 times the play in it that this does. So I think outside of just Baz on Blades, checking that out for a knife review to make sure everybody knows about it, I think that it's not much of an issue. Of course, I'd like to see it with absolutely no play, but it's not the type of play where you're like, oh, that feels like crap, or oh, that could cause a failure of the lock. It's not like that. It is just the barest little itty bitty bit that keeps it from feeling absolutely solid. Other than that, no issues. We're right down the center as far as the centering goes. If I can get the aspect ratio to make it look like it's down the center, because I'm looking at it's straight down the center, guys. You've got a pocket clip here. It is not ambidextrous. It does have a slight recess on this side. It is using a dome screw that is not recessed. It is a single screw for that pocket clip, and this pocket clip is it's just a couple of little strips of metal where it's skeletonized. It's got plenty of clamping force, and it's not super wiggly. I thought it would be more wiggly, but it's nice stock thickness on that, and it's not a bad design as far as working as a clip. Probably what I would do with this, I would take the pocket clip off. I would do something to the screw, you know, some detailing on the screw, and then I would put this in a slip, a leather slip in my pocket. I don't know what my person is that I'm going to give it to will do with it, but I don't know. That's probably how I would carry it, though, as it feels, it's got that more traditional flair, and I just don't, it doesn't matter to me. If it's a traditional pattern, I don't want a pocket clip on it. That's just all there is to it. It just, on a traditional pattern, it's ugly. It doesn't matter what the pocket clip looks like, how it's integrated. It's just too many decades of seeing traditional designs without pocket clips for it to look right to me at 55 years of age. That's just not going to happen. Who knows? I don't know. What's your opinion? I mean, it doesn't really matter. That's neither here nor there. The knife is great. I mean, I'm recommending the knife. That's no thing at all right there. I'm gonna recommend the knife. That's no big deal. If you want something unique in your collection as far as automatics go, you know, a hidden release, and you don't want to spend a ton of money on it. Now, I just spent a ton of money on a new ZBP 3rd gen Microtech Ultratech, and I wanted to spend the money on that to get that. But this, just to fill a niche in my collection, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on. I just wanted something that's pretty decent quality, and I think that I found that here. And you'll have to decide whether it's worth $119 to you, or, you know, one of the D2 models at the $70 range, maybe $70 or $80 range, whether they would be worth it to you. I think if you had an older gentleman in your house that was into traditional stuff but loved neat sort of things, you wanted to get them a special gift, this may very well make for a special gift for somebody like that. May very well. So there you go. The Cobratec Trapper Hidden Release automatic. I'm going to recommend it. I'm pretty happy with it, even though I'm not keeping it. Like I say, it's going to a gift to somebody very special to me, and I'm sure they will love it. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and I will talk to you again.